Breaking news. Explosion, terrorism, casualties dead. Breaking news, shooting, casualties, terrorism, dead. Casualties, extremism, suicide bombing, terrorism, terrorism. These are the words that we fear every waking moment of our lives now. We are the generation that witnessed 9/11 as children. And that terror has been instilled in our hearts ever since then. And every morning, we wake up and hope to God that we don't hear breaking news. Because when we hear that deep down, we all say the same thing, here we go again. And we hear it, and some of us groan and say, it's those rotten Muslims again. They come to our country with that crazy religion that doesn't know mercy or compassion, just senseless killing. They come here with their terrorism and their violence. They come from Afghanistan and Iraq and Iran, and I frankly don't care anymore. Muslims are the problem. Islam is the problem. We need to get rid of them. H.L. Mencken once famously said that for every complex problem, there is a solution that is clear, simple, and wrong. I grew up as a Muslim in America. And I hear these sentiments of so many of my fellow classmates and my fellow Americans. And to me, it's crystal clear that it's wrong. Yet, even here at Rutgers, some of my colleagues and my fellow Americans are so overwhelmed by these sentiments that last year on Bush campus, the Paul Robinson building was vandalized with posters inviting their fellow Americans to imagine a Muslim-free America. And I did. And I imagined it, but I could not see the problem disappearing because I knew, as a Muslim growing up in America with Muslim parents and Muslim friends, that Islam couldn't possibly be the problem. So why are so many people misled into such a clear and simple wrong solution to the problem of terrorism? Perhaps my fellow Americans and my fellow colleagues don't know that the United Nations conducted a study in 2011 and found that members of the self-proclaimed Islamic State had little knowledge about even the fundamental basics of Islam. Perhaps they didn't know that even more studies show that most of the victims of the self-proclaimed Islamic State are Muslim themselves. So it's kind of ironic to me when I hear the sentiments of my fellow Americans saying, we're suffering. Well, we're suffering too. And if the studies are correct, up to 97%, we're suffering more than you. But perhaps they don't know. Perhaps they don't know of another study by the Federal Bureau of Investigation, otherwise known as the FBI, that from 1980 to 2014, these are the statistics of terrorist attacks conducted on U.S. soil. You can find Islamic terrorism at 4%, dwarfed by environmental groups, of all things. Meaning, you're more likely to be caught in a terrorist attack by somebody who likes the environment? Apparently so. It's interesting to some people, but to me it comes as no surprise because I grew up with the religion and I know what it actually preaches. That we're a brotherhood, humanity, as our holy book calls it, is a brotherhood. Get to know people from other cultures, from other faiths. They are your equals in humanity. But yes, it is true. I won't lie. There is such thing as war in Islam. The big J word that everyone's familiar with nowadays, jihad. It exists. And it comes with very, very strict rules. That you cannot kill children, you cannot kill women, you cannot defile the dead, you cannot poison water, you cannot kill animals for God's sake. Meaning, by these rules, which are, by the way, prescribed by the Prophet Muhammad himself, the founder of Islam, nobody has more right to speak on his behalf but him. It is very difficult to be an Islamic terrorist without breaking the rules of Islam. Just like it is very difficult to be a terrorist in any religion or any society without breaking the fundamental rules of society, of decency. Ladies and gentlemen, this Monday, right here on College Avenue, 1 block from this building on Broward Commons, there will be an event held for a whole week called Islam Awareness Week. And the tent literally got set up today. It is an event designed to invite our fellow Americans to come and to ask questions and to learn about other faiths and ideologies and cultures in a risk-free, no judgment, no hard feelings environment. And maybe, just maybe, if we learn some of the hard facts and think with our minds and not our emotions, when we see the breaking news, we won't rush to myopic, superficial, simple, clear, wrong statements that show just how little you know. And maybe, just maybe, if we take the opportunity to get to know one another, we might learn to coexist. Because deep down at its core, Islam wants us to coexist, just like every religion wants us to coexist. Just like every society wants us to coexist. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is not breaking news. Thank you.